We're just going to show today how to set a monitor onto Unicol. It's something that a lot of us do every single day, and you're probably wondering why you're even watching this. But there's been a few incidents recently where screens have got scratched, and there's a lot of no knowledge of how this has happened, and it's starting to get a bit boring. We have moved the 65-inch monitor into position. We've got Unicol already on wheels, and we've actually put the sleeve on it just to save a bit of time. The sleeve will be in the box. Now, be aware that it's got a front on it, and the front should be facing away from the screen. It takes two of us at this point to take the lid off. I'm going to do my two catchers, and we're going to lift using the handles. We're going to lift this straight up in the air, and we're going to go quite high so we make sure we're away from the screen edge so we can't possibly catch it. And then we'll put my side down, and we're just going to get it out of the way so no one can trip over it, and then we're not going to do any damage. It's easy to think that I could have come along and got all of the two sides and done this, but we're finding that these are getting damaged across the top here, and there's no other knowledge really apart from it's happening on the screen. When you come along to this, in the back there'll be the bag for the Unicol, and there'll be a remote control. Once you've finished on the loadout, get the remote and sleeve back into this box, and it has to go behind the screen. It sounds obvious because it's going to hit the screen, but make sure your local crew guys know that. There's also a IEC, 2-meter IEC. It could be threaded up inside the sleeve if you want to make it look neater. So I'm not going to use it today. But put it down there so we're safe. Also in the back here is the back plate. It's perfectly positioned in the flight case. It's not touching the front here. And to lift it out, I simply lift it out. I don't really have an explanation of how to do that. This particular back plate doesn't have a top. Both this side and this are exactly the same. It does have a bit of writing that says Unicol Oxford. So for people who are a bit OCD like me, probably want to put that bit so you can read it. So it upset me if it was upside down, but it doesn't actually matter. I'm going to come to the plate. I'm going to stand behind it because I think it's easier to do, and I can just adjust these metal holes to get it so that they go into the Unicol bit, into the binocular as we would call it. I'm heading for about level with my nose at this point. This is about right. Not an exact science about where it needs to be. It's probably important that if you're going to do multiple ones of these, that they're all the same height equally. When we come to this screen, we can see that these sort of plate ears, I don't know what you want to call them, are at the same height, and all the 65s that we send out all get set to this level. It's as high as it can go. They can be adjusted, but if you start adjusting them, getting them all the same becomes a bit of an issue sometimes, so be aware of that. At this point, before we put it on, we need to make sure these little bolts are open, or they need to be open to a certain degree. So I'm just going to make sure that they're quite low down in the box, as in the bolt. Making any sense here? I'm making sense to myself. That's quite stiff, but it's moving, so that's reasonably all right. At this point now, you need a second person. I've got a Gareth here, which is very useful, and we are going to lift by putting our hand that's in the front side low down, and we're going. There's a little groove in the flight case, and we're going to lift it using our front hand, and the back hand is going to support the weight of the screen, because it'll probably just want to fall over if you just hand wasn't doing anything. So we're going to come down into the box, and together we're going to go up. At this point, we feel reasonably comfortable that we can go towards the bracket, and we're hooking the top on, and then we're lowering the bottom into position. And at this point, still taking the weight. I'm not putting any pressure on the glass. It's not even glass anymore on the actual surface. We're just taking the weight off the bottom. And then just to show you what we're looking at here, I'll just turn it around. To the point. We're now heading for this to be in the middle of this bracket, so we can see at this point we've gone way over to one side. So if you just assist again, Gareth, we can just tilt the bottom forward and come across, and then we're trying our best to get it in the middle. We've gone too far now. Could have predicted that. So we're trying our best to get in the middle of this, and once we've got to that point, we're then going to tighten these bottom bolts. It doesn't necessarily matter about the top. I'm not that precious about it, but the bottom one will prevent it being able to come up. You won't be able to get this screen off if this bolt is up against that. If you've got a screwdriver, it's often quicker than me doing it by hand. On this particular model of Samsung 65, the power goes in here, over there, on the side there, and all the inputs for the video source out of this side. The Unicol sleeve and the sleeve for the Unicol now gets lifted up, and these what do you want to call them? Reins, maybe the word, come round the back, and there's just Velcro to hold them on. There's nothing massively special going on. Imagine that's way higher than anyone could see. This should be quite tight. The higher this bracket is, the tighter this gets, and obviously if you've got this too low, this will all crumple up. It's not very good. We'll turn it round again. You might need a second to get this sorted. Because the Unicol is a bit twisty. I think this kind of does what it wants, but whilst I'm behind here, we'll just do the taking down of this in the opposite direction. So I'm going to take the bolts off. You step in and do that one, that'll be nice, thank you. So we're taking it off now. The bolt gets reversed. And if you're down below the Unicol line, we know it's going to work. We take the weight with our bottom hand again, tipping it forward, lifting. We're trying our best to get our hand in the position where the cutout is in the case. And then this bit comes off. Again, I'll go behind, undo the two bolts, vertically off. It's got inverts upside down, and as it goes in, it's not doing any harm, it's not touching any of that. Get our IEC back in, it just gets placed behind because these can't get tipped. The remote's gone in, sleeve goes in. We'll just imagine that's happened, so it takes too long. And then you need your assistant again to come along, and he is going to make sure that his side is all the way in case there's need a little bit of attention, but not much. And we're done, nice and safe. Do not tip 65 or above.